Go. Yay.
Okay. So Shannon kind of wanted me to talk about how I have been making it through the hard times. And there's Aurora. So she saw the last one. So maybe she can help remind me if I forget something. Um, but so I post a lot about my like postpartum depression, postpartum anxiety. Um, and I feel like that has helped a lot of people. It took so much for me to post that stuff, but that's actually something that helps a lot, is having support from other people and telling me that like I even had a girl that was like, hey, I decided that I'm going to go talk to somebody about my postpartum anxiety just because I saw you post that. So that, just things like that, really helps. But first I just wanted to kind of talk about some of the things that made my season hard lately. So I had a baby. And that, like, the end of pregnancy is kind of when it started getting hard, because I stopped working out at like 37 and a half weeks. The workouts weren't giving me energy anymore. They were kind of taking away my energy. So that was one thing, because working out for me is like a huge stress reliever. So not being able to work out kind of started the stress and like the buildup and things like that. Um, and then so I had the baby, and then postpartum depression, which I had it with my first, but it started about a month after. But this time it didn't start until about 8 weeks. So once I hit that month and I was like, oh, I'm still feeling great. Like, I don't feel any sadness like I did the first time. I thought I was in the clear. Like, my doctor had cleared me to do like light cardio, and like walking and things here and there. So I was like, I get to work out a little bit, which is better than nothing. I was still, drinking my shake every day. I was still plugging into coaching, even when I didn't feel like it, just because I knew that that is like where my passion is and what makes me feel good. Um, but then 8 weeks came, and I don't know what it was, but like I would just sit there and cry for like no reason. And when you're in that mindset of like, I'm sad but I don't know why, you don't want to reach out to people, and you don't want to put off that you're sad. And I was afraid that's what would come across in my invites and my conversations and things like that. So with having a baby, body image was also something. Like, yes, you're so thankful for your body for what it's done and what it's given you, but at the same time, like before I got pregnant, I was in the best shape of my life, and I felt the best I've ever felt. So when you're not feeling your best, you're feeling sad, you're not happy with how your body looks, all of those things add to the stressors. And I think that also had a lot to do with some of the feelings that I was feeling. Um, Also, going from one child to two is a huge change, especially when my toddler's 2. So, I mean, he's still used to like being spoiled by us. I mean, I picked him up all the time. He was always cuddling with Heston or I. And, when we brought the baby home, that wasn't always the case. And, with him being stressed out with the adjustment and everything like that, that was also something that was hurting my heart. um, I had a C-section. I had C-section with Jet. He was 3 weeks early, and my water broke, but like I wasn't progressing. I won't get into all the gory details, but I had a C-section with him. And so we did scheduled C-section for Jackson. Um, so recovering from a big surgery, like, and they say that your second C-section, you're not as sore, but I was way more sore this time. Um, it might have been because, like with Jet, I took the Percocet, like I took the hard painkiller. This time I didn't, so that might have been why I had more pain. I don't know, but I just didn't want to take it. I didn't like the way it made me feel, so I just kind of wanted to stay away from that. So recovering from a surgery, which meant I couldn't pick up Jet, like I had lifting restrictions, so I couldn't pick him up. That was hard because I couldn't pick him up to cuddle him. I couldn't pull him on the couch. I couldn't put him in the bathtub. I couldn't put him in bed. Like, that was really hard. Just caring for him and not being able to pick him up. So that was another stressor. Again, not working out. My doctor was actually, like I used to work with him and I know him really well. Like I have him on Facebook. So he sees all my posts. He knows I'm a Beachbody coach. He does Beachbody, not through me, but that would be cool if he did. But so he knows like what we're about and how important working out is to us. So when 2 weeks hit, he was like, you can walk, like do all the walking that you want. Um, and he knew that like I was in shape before, and I mean he did surgery on my abdomen, so he knew my muscle strength and everything like that. So he let me start picking Jet up again at 2 weeks, which was amazing. Um, and he said he wasn't worried about anything, so that was great. That helped. But then, so when 4 weeks hit, he was like, you can start doing the light cardio and things like that. So he worked with me a lot on that, so that was nice. And then also Jet was starting like his school. We call it school, but it's like a Mother's Day Out program, and he does it 2 days a week. So when he started that, I knew it was good for both of us because I would get to bond with Jackson a little bit more, just one-on-one, and Jet would get like the social aspect of it. But something that came with that was Jet getting sick. He got flu A, and I had just started my postpartum depression medication. And anybody that knows anything about antidepressants or anything like that, it takes weeks before you actually start feeling the effects, like any positive effects from the medication. So I had just started, and my anxiety when Jet got sick went through the roof. And I've kind of talked to Shannon about this a lot. But like, she asked me, she was like, what are you more nervous about? Like Jet being sick or him getting Jackson sick? And I was like, I think it was just the whole process. Like, I think I have PTSD because Jet was literally so sick. I mean, his fever got up to like 103.4. He was vomiting, coughing, wouldn't take medicine. He would just throw it up. So it was just like my anxiety was through the roof, and like I wasn't eating, I wasn't drinking water, I wasn't taking care of myself. So I think that is what really put me into my funk. But that being said, I knew that doing the things that I need to do, like working out, drinking my shake, keeping up with my coaching, like talking to people, making connections, even if I didn't send out very many invites, I was still posting about what was going on in my life. Like I was posting about Jet being sick. I was putting on my stories about like how tired I was, how exhausted I was, and how Jet was sick. And I like connected with so many moms that way. Like I had people messaging me left and right, like checking on Jet and everything. And not saying that I was like using that to my advantage for coaching, but I mean, what it shows is like consistency. So people are watching you, people are watching your stories. They know what's going on in your life. And when something's wrong, like they want to check on you. They want to be like, girl, what's up? What's wrong? How's your kid? Like, so that's something that I noticed whenever even when I wasn't posting about coaching or my groups or joining me or my workouts or whatever, like people are still watching you and they care about you. They want to know how you're doing and if you're okay and if your kids are okay. So that was really cool. So that's kind of in a nutshell what was going on in my life and what made everything hard. But some things I did to keep going. You guys, like talking to you guys about everything, like your moms, and like what I'm going through. So that helped a ton. And the rest of my support system, like Heston, if it wasn't for that man, I don't know where I'd be. He is like a lifesaver. And also like my mom came out, like Heston was with Jackson the whole time that Jet was sick. So my mom came out when she went to urgent care with me with Jet. Like my mom is a huge supporter of mine. So I stuck with my support system, talked to people if I felt down, even before Jet got sick. Like that, I think that was like my main stressor. But even before, like if I was feeling down, I would just talk to people. And that I'm kind of like a wear my heart on my sleeve type of person. So I like to talk it out. And my husband is not that way, but he knows I'm that way. um, Also, like leaning into my boot camp, our boot camp, it was amazing. Like seeing everybody crush it in there, and like even like I had people coming to me like, "Hey, I just wanted to let you know that I did this workout today and my butt feels crazy sore." Like even people just coming to me saying that like really got me like, "Yes, like she's doing it. I'm going to do it and I'm just going to keep going for these people." Like keep going for my boot campers and my challengers and everybody that is relying on me to be there for them. That keeps me going big time. I also kind of like lowered my standards a little bit, lowered my expectations of myself. And like Shannon kind of talked about this before, I think on your live today, maybe, but like not making yourself send out 50 invites a day, like crazy numbers. Because I was connecting with a lot more people, but I just felt odd inviting in that state of mind that I was in, because like I said, I didn't want to come across as sad or not excited about something that I'm very passionate about. So I kind of leaned back on the inviting. I still did a lot of follow-ups, but I wasn't really sending out many new invites. I lowered my invites to like 10 a day, and I was doing like 3 coaching invites a day. So I'm a little above that now. I'm getting a little bit better with it, but I think lowering my expectations and just knowing I was still doing the things, just not pressuring myself to send out a million invites a day. Also, like authentically sharing my story. And I kind of talked about this at the beginning, like posting about my struggles and what I'm going through and having all the support. Like, even if people don't like comment on it, they will message me and be like, "I thank you for posting that." And just knowing that I'm not alone in this journey like helps. And, you know, just people knowing that they can come to me and talk if they need to makes me feel amazing. Like, I don't care if it ends up in 2 Success Club points. I don't care if it ends up them signing up for workouts. Like, I don't care. As long as I'm inspiring somebody to either like get help or even just talk to me, like someone that's been through it before, I just want to be there for people. I want them to know that I'm there for them. And that lights me up to know that they know I'm there for them. Um, Knowing that when, like I kind of talked about this before, but knowing that when I do the things to make me feel better, I feel better. So like when I'm in that state of like when I was just crying all day, I still did my workout and I knew that for that 30 minutes I was going to feel amazing. And even afterwards, like when you get those good endorphins running, it helps so much. So yeah, like I would just be sitting there. I wouldn't want to get off the couch. I wouldn't want to, you know, put my baby down. And that's the thing about postpartum depression. Like a lot of people misunderstand it and they think that it's like you don't want to bond with your baby. But like I want to bond all day, every day. Like I don't want to put him down. I don't know if it's like the anxiety part of me, like you think something's going to happen or, but like I didn't want to put him down. I didn't want to get off the couch. I just didn't want to do anything. But knowing in my head that if I got up, did the workout, drank my shake, and posted about it, that it would make me feel 10 times better. So that was another thing that I made sure was in my everyday routine. And then the last thing was just I kind of had to make myself accept that I'm not perfect. Like this season in life is different than any other season and it's going to be hard. You're going to struggle, but just knowing that if I just keep going and it's only temporary, which Shannon has reminded me multiple times. But it's only temporary and you can get through it. Just keep doing the things that you know that light you up and that make you happy. And yeah, that's kind of what I did to stick with it.
I don't know if there are any kids listening, but I'm so asking. Proud of you. Oh, like, one question I had too is, you had mentioned like some personal development when we were talking, when like all this was going on, and you had kind of changed it up because you weren't feeling it. Do you remember? I don't remember what it was that you were listening or reading, and then like what you switched to.
So I was listening to Everything is Figure Outable, but I kind of switched it up to like, because I just felt like that was more business driven, and in that, when I was in that state, like that wasn't the personal development I needed. So I just looked on Amazon. I went to like, I searched like mom life or something like that, mom struggles or something. I can't remember what it was. But I found this book. Let me see. Oh, You Are a Fucking Awesome Mom. And listened to that, and that was amazing. That helped tremendously. Um, and I'm listening to Do It Scared now, and that's still kind of like business driven, but at the same part, I've found that it's helped in like sharing about what I'm going through, because like when I post, I'm like, I gotta do it scared. Like, I don't want to post this, but I'm going to, because I know other people need it. So I think a lot of my perspective has changed too. Like when I was listening to Everything is Figure Outable, like that can still be, that can still be attained to what I'm going through now. But when I was in that mindset, like I was just like, this doesn't pertain to me. So I kind of had to switch my perspective up a little bit.
Yeah, I think that's really important because there are so many, like we talk to a lot of people, and you can read or listen to the trendiest book and whatever, or podcast or whatever, but you have to read or listen to something that resonates with you and that is going to help you in the season that you're in. And maybe later on you can listen to Everything is Figure Outable and it's just going to like click, and
Yeah.
that's what'll work. But I think that's a really powerful point too. Like, do what works for you. And I mean,
and if it's not working, change it up.
right.
Mm-hmm.
I've stopped books like halfway through because I'm like, I'm not excited to read it. I'm not excited to listen. So like, what's next?
Right.
So I think that's really good. And I mean, I dare say that you're doing personal development like in the past also helped you like get through and be able to acknowledge like where you were. Like, your consistency is just insane. Like, I was just like amazed at how, we're having these conversations behind the scenes, and I'm like, but look, like, she's still showing up. And that's when these people are gonna like see you, and you're like, just, you share so well about your struggle. And I know it was hard at first, but like, it's like, for me, it turns into therapy.
It does. Yeah.
Sharing about that, it's cathartic to like just get it all out and be like, okay, like, this is it. And yeah, you're just awesome. So
yeah, you are so inspirational. And you probably don't you probably don't even know the amount of lives that you touched throughout this whole last, 13 weeks now? Like, yeah, you're just awesome.
Thank you. I've had a lot of people like reach out and be like, thank you for talking about this. And that is when I was like, okay, like, I'm glad I did it.
And can you imagine like the people who didn't say anything?
Right.
There's so many.
After I posted the post about like getting back on my medication, I was like, I shouldn't have done that. But then like I had so much support, like people liking it and commenting and like messaging me and everything. So I was like, okay, I'm glad I did that.
Yeah, it was just amazing. I'm gonna